Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, ma'am.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'm there.
We already started live, so.
Yeah, I saw. I opened both.
Yeah.
அதுக்கு என்ன chat வந்தா சொல்லுமா?
ஆமா. உங்களோட இதுல பண்ணிட்டேன். மியூட்டட் பண்ணி ஜீரோல வச்சிருக்கேன் அது because
வால்யூம்.
Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear parents. Once again, I welcome you to the wonderful workshops. On behalf of Neve Nurture Plus, I welcome you all today for the workshop by our esteemed educationist, Ms. Kalpana Mohan. You are aware by now that ma'am has been conducting a lot of workshops over the last few weeks for us. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with her by now. However, quickly to give a brief profile for the parents who have joined newly today, Ms. Kalpana Mohan is a teacher by profession hailing from Bangalore with 35 years of teaching and administrative experience to go with. She served as the principal of Vidyashilpa Academy, ranked among the top 10 ICSE, IGCSE schools in India for over 18 years. She has presented several papers at various summits and possesses a great passion for education-related activities. She has won several awards for her contributions to education. Very recently, she was awarded as Distinguished Educator India by AKS in Dubai. She motivates all her teachers and all of us, of course, by standing as a role model in the act of giving back to the society. Now, coming back to the topic of the day, Sanskrit is India's gift to the world that is unparalleled in its perfection and preciseness. It is regarded as the mother of all modern languages. Historians often call it the perfect language. This is not without a reason. Today, ma'am will take us through the significance of this ancient language, how it was born, and its journey till date. Over to you, ma'am, to engage the audience. And on behalf of all the parents and Neve, I welcome you once again. It's a privilege and honor to have you again. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, namaskara. Thank you very much, Yadushila. This is a very wonderful opportunity for me to talk about a language which is close to all our hearts. We people in the morning get up and slay so many slokas which are all written in the language which everybody thinks it's dead. So now I'll start like this. How many people in India speak Sanskrit? That's a question, very big question. Strictly speaking, we don't know how many people do that. In 2008 census, it was 4,000. Now in 2011 census, it comes to some 15,000. People say in Mathur of Hosali in Karnataka, the entire village speaks Sanskrit. There is a Sanskrit university and people speak Sanskrit in Melkote, Tirunarayanapuram. So they say it is not that very bad. People do talk. And in Uttar Pradesh, there are 35,000 people in a village in Uttar Pradesh has called their Sanskrit as their mother tongue. But what has happened sadly is, because of so many people who ridicule, made fun and threw it away, some of the people, like around more than 40,000 people have got asylum. Sanskrit speaking people got asylum in the people where Germany and other places where it is getting encouragement, particularly even in the places of Thailand and in some of the Western areas, the people have gone and settled there. Why? Means they want to get that language encouraged, and they call that as their mother tongue. There was a mother tongue, there was my father tongue, everything was there before. But after the independence, everything has become mother tongue. But what has happened is when the census are taken, people don't even ask, what is your language? Instead of just asking mother tongue, what is your state language? They didn't even ask, do you know Sanskrit? Nobody has given that kind of answer. So 14,000 people in Uttar Pradesh, one sect has called their Sanskrit as their mother tongue. Okay. Now, some of the people in our country call Sanskrit as a dead language, but it happens only in India. Why am I saying it? What is meant by dead language? Dead language means the people shouldn't speak, people shouldn't use, people should not even see. But in our country, if you look into Sanskrit, it's there in every single place. In our house or any households also, we do say 2-3 words in slokas which are Sanskrit. So how it can be called as dead? And also, there is a complete conspiracy happened. They just hid all the manuscripts. Even Chanakya's Arthasastra was hidden. It's not 1 line or 2 line. It is more than lakhs and lakhs of manuscript, millions to be precise. They were all not been seen. It is not available. Actually, one Shama Sastri in 1904 brought in Chanakya's Arthasastra manuscripts, From somewhere he dug out and brought it. Similarly, and there is a program called Namami to revive Sanskrit manuscript. Namami means to, say Namaskaram. So now almost all the places they are trying to retrieve the manuscripts, but you know what? More than 6 lakhs manuscripts were taken from Western countries. That means to say people have come to India, took it and went away. So that is what has happened. So all these things were listed, and now we are now started talking about Sanskrit in a very big way. But there are people who think that it is something which is not to be done and all. There are people who put the thing and call it as dead language, but it is not. Today, we are here to explore what is Sanskrit and what is the speciality of it and how beautiful that language is and how much it has helped us to even bring back our old glory to the current day situation. Another very important thing is Sanskrit is something which is very beautiful, very nice to hear. And the moment you are going to talk, its vibrations are very, very, very positive. So why we need to bring it back and what we should do to bring it back is something which we have to all start reflecting. So let me go to my, I have done some research. It's not that I know everything about Sanskrit or something, but it is out of my interest. I did a small research and I have collated into a small PPT. Let me have that PPT shared with you so that we can all just look into it. Yeah. As Adushaila said, that's a very beautiful heading she gave me. Samskruta, the perfected language. The language not perfect in the beginning, perfected, how it made everything in a perfect way. So I'm just trying to say, and also I'm not going to call Sanskrit as an ancient language. It is still from the ancient times. It is available. We don't know when it was originated and who invented and all those things. There's nothing of that sort. Sanskrit lived with the Vedas. Vedas were written in Sanskrit. That means to say the language existed much before that. So, and we don't know the real origin time of Vedas. Everybody say 5,000, 7,000, 9,000. According to me, it is more than lakh and 70,000 years ago where Rama lived. And before that, all the avatars of Narasimha or Vamana, anything has come in. All those things, Vedas is extended. They say Hayagriva gave out the Vedas through his nose. All the 4 Vedas came through the nose of Hayagriva, and Hayagriva is supposed to be the first person who even produced Brahma. So we don't know. We don't know. These things, people call it a story, but I call it as a way in which it was lived, and we don't know what's happening. When now the NASA is going into the space and say this many places are there, there are so many other universes available, more than one sun. When we said 7 lokas in our Vedas and Upanishads, people just started making ridicule. Oh, where is 7 loka? But now they are going and finding out and telling. That means to say our people have known all these things before itself. So I feel we need to, I don't know, I'm not forcing anybody, but I believe very strongly our Vedas and Upanishads is timeless. We cannot even find out the origin of it. So I call that Sanskrit as a non-origin, and we don't know when it started, but still see. We are now people who are having half knowledge are ridiculing and making fun and also making things like why to study Sanskrit. But let's see. As people who are interested in knowing our culture, our tradition, we need to know Sanskrit. So let's go on it and we'll see what it is. This particular slide I like very much because the wonder that is Sanskrit. Yes, it's a wonderful thing. The first thing, Samskruta language is a universally recognized by people form of a judgment. It's one of the most magnificent, the most perfect, the most prominent and wonderfully sophisticated literary instrument developed by the humankind. Aurobindo, we know he's a very great saint. He lived in Pondicherry and he has got Aurobindo Ashram. He said this. And he is also a very big scholar. He was there in the freedom movement, Aurobindo. He's a Bengali, but he has come and settled in Puducherry, Tamil Nadu. So he has given this kind of word. These words may repeat throughout my presentation because that overwhelming capacity of that language makes me say It's a most perfect, most prominent, most wonderful, etc. But Aurobindo says that. He says it is a very, very beautiful language. It is most magnificent, most perfect. See, double superlative. See, everywhere it is there. So he said that it is a developed mind, human mind. Probably the human mind, what he is talking about, the man lived as a God, lived as a man, and he created. So now it's what a language. We are actually exclaiming, what a language. The Buddha Samskruta, about literature, about research. This is what we are going to see. It's our agenda today. So just let's go the beauty of Sanskrita. The Sanskrita is the most ancient language. It's a perfect language among the world. It's the greatest treasure given to the world by ancient India. Sanskrita is universally recognized as the language containing the earliest literature in the world. We all know Ramayana, Mahabharata, and much before Vedas, all the 4 Vedas are the earliest literature in the world. And it is there in which language? Sanskrit. That means to say, it is we are not knowing the origin. It's existed long ago. Also, it is also established as an ancient branch of Indo-European family of languages. And elder sister of ancient classical languages like Greek and Latin. Modern North languages derive from it, and South Indian language are saturated with Sanskrit words. You take, if you just look into our own Kannada and Tamil, how many Sanskrit words are there? Jalam, it's water. Neer, water, it's there in Sanskrit. If you look into it, you can keep on adding, getting words which are Sanskrit. Pankajam is see, I'm saying Pankajam is lotus. Pankajam is there in Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, whatever. It is there. Malayalam. So there are South Indian languages saturated with language Sanskrit. It is adopted so many words from Sanskrit. We know that ancient language, this language, that language, everywhere there is kind of addition from Sanskrit is something which we have to see. I have given a very small example like Jalam and say Pankajam and Kamalam and all those things. Neel and something. And I'm going to give you more examples on how other languages derived from our language. That is Sanskrit. Unlike English language, that's a beauty again. The pattern which subject comes first, verb comes middle, and the object comes that is SVO in short. Samskrita has got a very different grammatical structure. See, now I'm going to give 2 examples and we will repeat it again and again at the end also. You just see this, 3 boys are playing football. So if you say boys play football playing boys, the meaning changes. But if you look into Sanskrit language, Triya Balakaha Padagantukam Kridanti. That is, the boys are playing football. Padagantukam is football. Even if you make changes, Balaka Kridanti Padagantakam, Kridati Padagantakam Balakaha. If you book anywhere, the basic meaning does not change. That's the beauty of Sanskrit. See, it is an extra information. It's more flexible in placing the word. You can keep on changing, but the basic idea remains. It doesn't give any absurd meaning. But if you say playing boys football, there is no meaning. But if you say Kridanti Balakaha Padagantukam, Triya means 3 boys. Even if you put it in a different way, the meaning of the sentence does not change. That's how the sentence is. That means to say you cannot do any mistake in Sanskrit. That's how the clarity and the advancement of that language. I have one more. Rama Shabdaha, if you say. Rama Gramam Gachati. That means Rama went to village. So see the way how we can have the word orders. Ramaha Gramam Gachati. Rama Gachati Gramam. Gachati Rama Gramam. Rama Gachati. Gramam Gachati Rama. Gachati Gramam Rama. This is what can be permutation combination we make in the sentence, and there is no change in meaning. Everything means Rama is going to village or Rama goes to a village. That's it. So if you have in any other language, this kind of changes, if you make, it gives a very absurd meaning. But here in sentences, the overall meaning is the same. Rama is going to a village. But we can have little topic and focus, which is focused more, which is focused less. Everything can be got into the language. That is the beauty of Sanskrit. That means that kind of advancement, even if you make any changes in the sentence formation, the meaning doesn't change, means how advanced is the language. That is what we have to look. For example, easy, precise, that's why easy. You can write anyway. A formation of sentences is free. Expression of ideas, precise what you want to say. You can do it very, very shortly. One. Okay. Keno payena laguna, easy. Kim means what? That's it. So easily we can make. It is not a very difficult language, and there is no variation. It has not changed over the period of time. 10 years before Sanskrit was like this, and today Sanskrit is different. Nobody can say. Our own language, Kannada or English or Hindi or whatever, there are changes, there are variation. Additional words are there and things like that. But Sanskrit did not change at all. There is no variation. And it is for the humanity. See, when you start thinking of principles relating to the human existence, it was given in Sanskrit language, and if you read it, you get amazed. A scholar understands world better than another. Sanskrit scholar understands world better than the other. That's the humanities, for the humanity. The language itself is for the humanity. Then, oldest language in the world. That's what we just saw. Among the current languages possesses, so many languages are there. Greek is there. They say always, oh, I'm not speaking Greek and Latin. That means it's very old and all. It's not that. For that, this language has a pristine purity. It's pure. There is no adulteration to it. It maintained that vocabulary even today. It has not changed. And in 21st century, Samskruta is spoken by a number of people. I have actually gave the statistics to you. A news service is offered by Government of India every day. I think morning 9:30 or something, there is a Sanskrit news coming in the All India Radio. You can hear it. It's so beautiful to hear. And radio program is there. Even Sanskrit channel is there. Sanskrit channel is also. Sanskrit channel is there. And Samskruta is also catering to local as well as international news. This news has got been taken by all the other countries also. Even BBC has got a Sanskrit channel or news. Then what is that? Again, we go into the grammar only. What is it very unique of that? The sound of each 36 consonant and 16 vowels of Samskrita are fixed and precise since their very beginning. There is no change from the day one. The same thing. No, say in some of the languages they added yes, this one, that one. The type of writing is different, etc. And it never changed or altered or modified. Nothing. It stayed as it is when it started. How it was today itself is the same. And words of language always the same pronunciation. There is no change in pronunciation. In fact, if there is a pronunciation change in Samskrita, the meaning itself changed. And if you make one mistake, then everything is completely gone. You know the story of a joke is there, Kumbhakarna. When he penance with the Paramashiva and asked for this boons and all, he wanted to ask permanency, Amara, that is without death. And so he wanted to use called Nityatva, that is without any end, always Nityatva. But when he was telling, he made a mistake. He said Nitratva. That's why he was sleeping all the time. So that's what they say. Even one small error in Sanskrit word makes a different meaning. That's why they say you have to be very careful in pronouncing Sanskrit words. One. Second thing is that Sanskrit is taught from the younger age so that the children's pronunciation is very strong. There is another very important thing I used to say, that when the children are in the brahmacharyam age, when the learning process is happening, they should not eat betel leaves, they say, because the moment they eat betel leaves, your tongue becomes very thick, so you will not able to pronounce things properly, because most of the teaching were happening in Sanskrit only olden days. So when Sanskrit, one small mistake you make, the meaning itself changes. So that's why you have to be very, very difficult. There is no sound shift should happen actually. Even the smallest shift. That's why they say people who cannot pronounce Sanskrit do not do any shlokas, because even one small in Hanuman Chalisa, Hanumati says Sarva Sukha Karai. That's what they say. But some of them, I heard one person say Sarva Dukha Karai. That means we want all the sorrows to come to you. They make one small mistake like that. We have to be very careful when you chant Sanskrit slokas. And the reason is absolute perfection and nature of formation. This is the absolute perfect language, what our heading says. And the morphology of word formation, it's like a root, a small tiny root called dhatu, a dot, in precise grammatical order and has the same since very beginning. It has not changed. Any number of desired words could be created through its roots words, and prefix and suffix systems are detailed in the Ashtadhyayi of Panini. Panini is one of the greatest Sanskrit poetess, and she did this kind of very beautiful Ashtadhyayi she has designed, and she says with the dhatu you can create lakhs and lakhs of words. Furthermore, 90 form of each verb and 21 form of each noun or pronoun could be formed that could be used in any situation. That's kind of flexibility. You have very huge amount of flexible words happening. There has never been any kind class of nature and change in science of Samskruta grammar as in another language of the world as they pass through the stage to one to another. They started from something different and ended something differently. Even small things. When we started with the talking and later they change. For example, in Tamil, there is a proverb called Anekoru kalam anda Punekoru kalam. But it is wrong. They say because elephant is going to be a cat. The entire system itself is wrong because pronunciation made that way. Anai means the ghee from cow is in the younger age. That is when you are in young, 20, 30, 40 years, you can have a lot of ghee made of milk. Then later in your life, you started to take honey. That is poonai. Poo means flower. The nectar from the flower is called poonai. Poo means flower. From flower that which has come, it is honey. So in later stage of their life, you should have honey instead of ghee from the cow. That's what is the meaning. But entire meaning has changed, and that proverb itself is changed because of that. So actually, I know Tamil I'm saying because Tamil is one of the favorite languages of mine. I'm not bringing it down by any chance. I know the meaning, so I'm telling you that. I know in other languages, so many things would have been done like this. But Sanskrit as such, it's not happened anything of that sort. Then the perfect form of Vedic Samskrita language had already existed thousands of years, and even before the infancy of the earliest primer. Infancy, even before the Greek, Hebrew, Latin, and all, they say it's the oldest language. Even before they were even started, Sanskrit existed. And our own C.V. Raman, he said that Samskrita was the only language that could be the national language of India. He said, Sanskrita flows through our blood because we lived with Sanskrita in ancient age. It is Sanskrita that can establish the unity of the country. When country has to become united, Sanskrita should be brought. Who said C.V. Raman, who is the greatest scientist? Nowadays people call, oh, in scientifically what? No great scientist there in India than C.V. Raman. And he himself say that means what? Actually, C.V. Raman is a very staunch believer of what our ancestral languages of Sanskrit has told. He has studied Sanskrit to a deeper sense. When people visited places, and C.V. Raman was the one who took out from that, he took the answer of Vivekananda. Vivekananda was asking why Krishna is portrayed in blue color. And Vivekananda answered, the sky and the sea are in blue color. And like that, there is no starting or ending for Krishna, and he's been in blue color. But taking it further, he saw C.V. Raman, and he analyzed it, and he saw when all the colors are merging, it becomes white. From there only, he went to black hole, and his research started. That when all the 7 colors were rotated and he got white color, that is we all do experiment in the schools also. That's from C.V. Raman. So there is no other great scientist as C.V. Raman, and nobody will be the authority for science. And now people who are talking about scientific and all, they are very half knowledge people. C.V. Raman says that that's the language is very good. And I think we have to take it because he's one of the greatest scholar ever India produced. Then, for example, Sanskrit word called Matri. Matri with the long A, Matri. And the soft T, Matri, had become matter in Greek, mother in English. I have a lot of example. Tirigonabidi, Bhugola. Tirigonabidi is called trigonometry. Bhugola, geography. It is like that. We have geometry. That means geometry. It's like that. So when we are, this is all there in Sanskrit, I'm telling you. And I think we have done when we studied Bhaskaracharya, Aryabhatta and all, when I was talking, I have heard this. And called the Abraham's word of the original Sanskrit word is Matri, and later everybody changed it accordingly. Mother, Ma, Matha, everything came in. So Matri is the Sanskrit word for mother. You know, we have seen so many words like that converting into other language which is originated from Sanskrit. It's quite evident in the above statement, Sanskrit is a source of all languages in the world and not as derivative. We have not derived Sanskrit from anybody. It is the mother of other language, because most of the people have derived their languages from Sanskrit. As said, Sanskrit is the divine mother of languages of the world. I think that's something which is really, really very happy to share with you people. So it is the dignity of India. Sanskrit is the pride of our nation. It's a state of unity for India. And the 51 sounds, akshara, and their accurate pronunciation is still there. The derivation of word is also happening from that mother languages, and very, very sweet to listen. You chant one shloka. What else you need? Gayatri mantra, you say. What is the kind of vibration it creates around you? It's something very, very beautiful. It's very sweet to listen. Then NASA is used in Samskruta as its computer language. Now, in our world, anything to do with science, we have to go with NASA. NASA said that means it's right. In 1967, 70% of the people who are working in NASA are Indians, okay? But those NASA said, then it's fine. Ram Setu is built by a man. It was built 1,070,000 years ago. We were telling, Valmiki said, this said, that said. We were all saying that. Only when NASA said, yes, it was a man-made bridge, everybody started listening to it. Till then, nobody knew. So, NASA. So we take NASA. NASA says Sanskrit is the easiest language for computer, and they use that language. So NASA scientists discussed why Sanskrit is one of the best languages for us in Kannada long ago. In 1985 itself, he told that. Knowledge representation of Sanskrit and artificial intelligence. Sanskrit and AI. Artificial intelligence is still on the process and thinking going on. AI is our watchword today. According to him, our Rick Briggs, Sanskrita is the natural language in which the message can be sent by the computer in the least number of words. The only solution to be reached was the findings of a great sacred language, of which all others would be considered as manifestations, and that was found in Sanskrita, is Swami Vivekananda's saying. Again, we have scholars, we have saints, we have rishis, tapomunis. What we do, we pick up few people who are very, very money oriented, and we represent them as Hindu people. Those are rishis, and we are bringing down the entire essence of Hinduism in a bad shape. That's what currently everybody is doing. Putting our own culture down will not happen in any other country except India. There is no, as we have spoken, the Sanatana Dharma, what he has spoken to us and what is taught to us and what is written in Sanskrit is something which is really, really out of anything. I mean, I can say that it is, nobody can even have the value, that much kind of value. But what has happened? We ourselves are making fun of it. Oh, Samskrita, what is this? Why? You can learn English, which is somebody else's language, in 10 days. Why can't you make Sanskrit as your mother tongue? Or I mean, at least learn extra, one more language. What's wrong? You want to study French and Spanish, but why not Sanskrit? Because it's your language. Gargi, there is a say, there is a papi who is in Ganges. People come to take bath in Ganges from all over the world and all over the people. But the person who is sitting, a cobbler sitting next to Ganges, doesn't know. Gange kare papi, they say. So like that, we are not understanding our own value of our own language called Sanskrit. Swami Vivekananda is telling it is one of the manifestation that was found in Sanskrit. It's very important. And NASA scientists also say that. So, Jnatu Bharat Sanskriti Yadi Manas Tat Sanskritam Sevyatamam. That is, When you want to know about Bharat's Sanskriti, you need to know Sanskrit. That's what he says. The Sanskrit Vanmaya means Vanmaya is the script, their words, sentences, everything called Vanmaya. Vanmaya. A on the top, one Janda is there, and Vanmaya. Vanamaya, the oldest literature of the world. Millions of manuscripts. Now people still getting it. We are having that Namami Sanskrit, we are making it coming out. Stories, lot of stories, mysterious stories mean the stories will tell you so to solve mysteries of life, even how the things have to be, and how to convert a small piece of iron to gold also is there in that, those kind of scripts in olden days. Beautiful poems and stories for the children, divine prosperity and rhymes, divine slokas, everything is there, and a lot of things are there in Sanskrit. And Samskruta literature is an ocean that contains many pearls of wisdom. It is the source of Vedam, Shastrams, Kavyams, and is language of gods. It says Deva Bhasha. That is called Bhasha of the Devas, the gods' language. And also, it is a stylish dancing form in the form of dancing. Arts and aesthetics of ancient India, the olden days India. What is the thing? What is a kind of art and artifacts has happened long back. Moral values and ethics, of course, we need so many of them even today. Spiritual power of mantra chanting. We saw what is the values of mantra in olden 2-3 weeks before. So that mantra, it's having its vibration, and that vibration is got because of the sweetness of that language, which is Sanskrit. As I told you, even one word changes, the meaning changes, the entire thing changes. So we need to be very, very carefully chant mantra. That is why in olden days, mantras were not written. Because when you write, you can make some mistakes, matra can change and things like that. But when you are hearing and through the ear and chanting through your mouth, then you will not forget. Vedas are unwritten text earlier, and they always been passed by chanting, and keep on chanting and people hearing and remembering. That is what is mantra chanting. So mantras are written in Sanskrit. Now you can translate into any other language and put this way, that way. The original text Sanskrit has got its own power. The chanting of mantra in Sanskrit has got its own power. It is not related to any religion. I want to say that. Because everybody says the moment it is Sanskrit, oh, only people who are Brahmins, Hindus will say. No, it's our language in our country. We don't say we will not speak any other language because we are not having this. We say that we speak every language, more than one language. But Sanskrit is our original language. That mantra chanting, it has got its own vibration. Sanskrit is not basically the best option, but it is only option. That's what we have to really, really establish here. The only option to bring things out very positively is Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is not one of the options, but it's the only option. That's something which this slide, I like it so much because I took it from someplace. Then what Sanskrit give it to us? Traditional values, knowledge of an intellectual tradition. Intellectual, very intelligent, knowledgeable, so many important things available in that. Starting from history. History text of Samskruta is huge. And I know last time I told you in Nalanda, it burnt for almost 1 week or more than for 10 days. That Bhaktiar Khilji did it with jealousiness. Oh, so much is there. He burnt everything. But even then, some of them were rescued. Inscriptions of Samskritas very, very on the walls of the temples and all. Literacy, India, history of India. What is language? How Indians are speaking their languages came from Sanskrit. And ancient political structures, how the politics has happened, how the kingdoms ran, how the kings were, how their elections happened, how the water supply, how the town was planned. Everything was there in Sanskrit only. As I told you, Kautilya's Arthashastra, written in Sanskrit, is a very greatest of all Sanskrit scholars. People who came from outside India, Pahian, Yuan Swang, everybody learned Sanskrit through our culture only. Chanakya, as I told you, has written everything in Sanskrit, and from there you can get all these things, whatever I said. And philosophy, theology, and idealism. How to live, how not to live, how to live, and how to do things is theology. Idealism, how not to live, what should we do, whom to follow is idealism. Atheism, materialism. There is atheism also in Sanskrit. Sanskrit people does not say that you are going to be you have to believe in God. Actually, there was a Kashmiri theater person called Abhinava Gupta. He was an atheist. He has written so many things in Sanskrit. Dramas he has written. Abhinav Gupta, please Google and see. He was an atheist long ago. It is not today or yesterday. It was like around, I'm talking about 3,000-4,000 years ago. Abhinav Gupta, he lived in Kashmir. And that is a very strong evidence that how Kashmir was Hindu's place. So Kashmir, Abhinav Gupta was an atheist, but still he wrote a lot of drama in Sanskrit. Logic, of course, logic. What is right, what is wrong? If you do this, you will happen this. It will do this, you will do this. You will get it. If you don't do this, you won't get this. Na Vasudeva Bhaktana. If you are not a Bhakta of Vasudeva, what will happen? It's there in our text. So if you are a Bhakta of Vishnu, what will happen? If you are not a Bhakta of Vishnu, what will happen? Also is given. So that's why logic is also there, good and bad. Then it also talks about metaphysics. The metaphysics includes all astrology, etc., and how the methodology of doing things also there. Right? As I told you, even the vidya of converting iron into gold is there in Sanskrit language, and it has not changed but we have to do it properly. You have to use the things which are given in the book text properly. Poets also, most refined ideas of the world, prosody and various types of meters, that measurements, drama, theory, practices. Just now I spoke about drama, theory. Theories means how Pythagorean theorem, our differentiation, calculation, everything is there in this one. Astrophysics, physics, astronomy is one of the greatest science. Sanskrit. If you see astrology and astronomy in Indian culture, in Indian texts are very high. And like that Varahamihira, one of the greatest astrologer, he had everything written in Sanskrit. I know they say that he lived in long ago, 4th century BC, I think. Even people from other countries have come in and taken his text and gone. Actually, what our Indian people have lost it is a gain for all the Western people. They are taking one by one and telling this is it. But we had all these things in our text as so many years before. Strict tradition and diversity of about a poem and a poet. What is a poet and what is a poem? And if you remember, Kalidasa is having the capacity to sing songs for the death, for the birth. So actually, once Bhojaraja had a problem. How Kalidasa died is something. That kind of power his Sanskrit language had. Bhojaraja wanted to see, you are singing songs of death. The Sarma Sloka you are making for everybody after their death or something. But I want to hear what is your Sarma Sloka will be. What you will write for your death, Kalidasa, he was telling. But Kalidasa refused. He said, no, if I write a Sarma Sloka, I won't live. Bhojaraja didn't believe it. So what he did, no, I want to see. He was very stubborn. Then what Kalidasa did, he made arrangement for his daughter, everything as that. And he wrote his Sarma Sloka, then he died. That is the power of Sanskrit sloka. That's the power. So that's what is a sixth tradition, diversity is all there, poetry and poem. And it also has legal studies, history of ancient Indian laws, Manusmriti, and also actually Manusmriti originally was written in Dravidian language and Sanskrit adopted it. That's what they say. We don't know the truth behind it. The great tradition of Dharma Sastra, Dharma, how we have to follow Dharma. Satyameva Jayate, that's a Dharma, like that. Everything that's followed by given in Sanskrit text. After that, people have adopted it. Then comparative study of languages. After that language has been produced, after Sanskrit taken up, checked with everything. And in fact, King Ashoka did a very long research in language studies that say, I don't know, that's written in history. But he did in Bali language, they say, but they Ashoka also had a lot of scholastic idea in Sanskrit. New ways of computational linguistics, calculations, riddles, and all those things. And that our Bhaskaracharyas and all is very, very this thing. Then knowledge of an intellectual tradition. What is that? Geography and geology. Ancient Indian states and boundaries. Jambut, Viba, Bharatavarsha, all the other thing, Nagad, all different states of India, Gandhara. Gandhara is current Afghanistan. Then Magadha. Then for the Burma, all those things, Kandara, all those things. Then ancient route of other countries. Indians have traveled long distances with their ships. They had gone to Java, Sumatra, even to Egypt. We don't know. People are getting a lot of evidences from all those areas now. In Germany, in Saudi Arabia, they're getting Ganesha temple. Germany has got Narsimha in there. So all those things are because of our trade connections with the other countries. And that time the trade was happening through ships. So that is ancient routes. And of course, we had flights on the which fly on the air also. Pushpaka Vimana was mentioned in Ramayana. Even Dharma's chariot never touches the ground and things like that. Celestial globe and astronomy. Definitely they know astronomy so much. They have calculated the distance of sun, and they have calculated so many things, and we don't even know about it. But we are saying that somebody else is doing it. I have told all these things in our previous values of India. Educational method and pedagogy. That's one of the very important fact. Lord Macaulay was very shaken by the way in which education system is there in India. That's why he brought in Macaulay's system to destroy that. And we all got destroyed. That's the thing. How to express theory, how to make questions, new ways of evaluation. Our assessment and evaluation. Somebody is giving a lot of information today, but all were there. How to assess. Assess according to their capacity rather than one size fits all. That's what we say today. Our Indian educational pedagogy, which was given long ago, says, check the children according to their potential. Very important. Multiple intelligence, Varna, theory, everything was there in our language. So Sanskrit is one of the languages in which these things are written. And art and aesthetics, classical music and its instruments, we all know. A lot of things, starting from yoga, starting from Bharatanjali, Bharatanatyam, Kathak, Kuchipudi, whatever you say, everything, they have their grammar, how to go about, their rules and regulations written in Sanskrit long ago. They say 64 different kind of arts and architectures are there. So everything was written. Beautiful scenes for paintings. They have described. See, if you read Valmiki Ramayana, and I read Sundarakanda every day, so I know how he has described Sri Lanka. Each and every part of Lanka, Valmiki has explained, and it's exactly how it is written even today in so many areas. In Sri Lanka also, they say Ramayana places. They've started tourism like that. If you go, see, really, it's so beautiful. I had visited Nuvare area where Sita was kept as captive. The Simsuba trees and all those things, so beautiful they are. And they say how the place was, how cold it is, how nice it was. Everything is being explained by Valmiki, and it's more picturesque. You can paint, if you read and paint accordingly, you will get that place. It's like that. Then Vastu Sastra. Today, Vastu Sastra, without that, no building comes up. But where was it? Actually, they say, and our Mayan thing is completely how to build a building and all those things. Vishwakarma, Those people were the people who are the authority of civil engineering, and Vastu Shastra is nothing but civil engineering. Vastu Shastra is not only you put the kitchen in northeast, not that. Vastu Shastra itself is civil engineering, complete civil engineering, where the water should be, where the stove should be, where the place where you keep the money should be, where to sleep, in which direction you should sleep. Everything comes in Vastu Shastra. It is civil engineering. It is not only just making fun. In most of the movies, they, oh, I'm doing Vastu, you put here, you put there, and all that. It's all just joke. They are making the entire thing so meaningless. But Vastu Shastra is civil engineering. It is there in Sanskrit. And religious studies, of course. All sects of Hinduism, again, I want to say it is Sanatana Dharma. That is there in that. Sannyasis, their lives and values. Sannyasis, as I told you, they were all real sannyasis. They were people who were really did so much things for. You start from all the rishis, Bharadwaja Maharishi. They lived with the wives, but they lived sannyasi. They were still lived a life of sannyasi. They said Balyam, Yavanam, Grihasthasramam, Vriddhasramam, Aranya. They go into Aranya. Grihasthasramam, sannyasi. They marry, but they live, but they renunciated. Most of the kings, when they become old, they will give the kingdom to their younger ones, and they go to the forest. They don't stay in the this one, what do you call, the palaces to enjoy their old days. No, they'll go off. That is how the things were. So the lifestyle is completely explained. Lost religious traditions, and all the things which are lost, it's not there still, but they're all there in our Sanskrit texts. Then, what is another very important thing? Science and applied courses. Science and Ayurveda and medicines, theory of atom and gravity, relativity of Nagarjuna, 13, military sciences, agricultural sciences, animal husbandry, that is even animals, how to make them, how to bring them, what all the things we should give, etc. Agriculture is, of course, Bija. What Biju Shastra is a big Shastra. And also that is why we put so many in all the temples in their Kalasha, they give the very good Bijas, which will sustain for 12 years. That's why every 12 years we should do Kumbhabhisheka. We have to change that. And that is also one of the things which will take the lightning. If that's why they say we should not construct any building above the temple's tower. So because lightning always strikes the tallest building, tallest area in the place. So tallest is the Gopura. The Gopura has got Kalasha. When lightning strikes, it completely earthed, so nothing, no damage is done for the city or town or village which is there. So those things are there in Sanskrit and literatures. Military sciences completely, how this one, Garuda Vyuga, Sakra Vyuga, you see in Mahabharata how beautifully military sciences have been explained. Then theory of atom and gravity, so Anu, Paramanu, Akashna Shakti, etc. Ayurveda, of course, in Atharvana Veda. Architectural engineering, Shilpa Shastra. Shilpa Shastra is a construction of particularly temples. Why they constructed temples earlier? Because temple is one social work. The moment you start constructing a temple, it gives a place of worship. Apart from that, it is gives work. It's a social endeavor. Everybody will have their jobs. Artisans will have job. The people who are having pottery will have job. Water people will have job. People will work, or masons, and everybody will have a job. And it will be raised and built. And when there is a complete, if the floods or anything come, they come and stay there. There will be a granary all the time, so that when there is a famine, they will use that grains for eating. What not? And there is a prasad done for the god, so there will be people who can cook. That is complete habitat. A temple is nothing but habitat. In fact, that is why our people, the people who came and invaded us, started destroying the temples. Temples are the place where it will enliven the whole country. Now today we need to revive them. So many temples were destroyed. It's because of that. The moment the temple is destroyed, the country is civilized. People don't know what to do. So that is what has happened to India. Then botany, about all the plants, what all the things. They know about the plant. We have written about the animals, which plant is good for what disease. There was no disease. People used to do, oh, that prick one flower and did. They did that. We are all going behind allopathic medication. Simple Sanskrita. So I am coming to a small wrap-up kind of thing. Samskrita evolved from the word Sanskritam, is the oldest language known to a man, which is also classified literary Indian language. It is the richest literature shown in mankind, also called the mother language, as all the languages have been erased and evolved around it. Samskrita is considered as a distinctive language because it's mainly used for religion and scientific vibrations or verbalization, and is also believed to be the language of gods. Many universally accepted scriptures like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, and Vedas, scripture of humanity, has been authored in Sanskrita. Learning Sanskrita is proved to be very beneficial, as its daily use provides good brain exercise and helps in an increased count in gray cells, which improves brain power and also bring clarity of pronunciation. Please, I want to repeat the last paragraph one more time. It increases your brain growth, the vibrations, and it's very beneficial. And gray cells are more of the gray cells are there in our brain. Brain itself is gray in color, brain cells, the nerve cells and neurons or whatever. It improves the brain power. It increases the memory and what brain we can do, and also bring the clarity of pronunciation. How to pronounce, how to talk. It gives by this language, which is very great. This is like a small summary I made. For the people who are interested, there are newspapers in Sanskrit also. I have found out these two newspapers on the net. The Vishwasvartanam 1 and Sudharma Sanskrit Daily, both are there. And it is actually having more than 14 to 15,000 circulation. That's what they say. Apart from that, this is still existing. It's running. Actually, you can go to these websites and subscribe. You can have e-papers also. In fact, Sudharma, what it is as an e-paper, what I have put it here. You can get e-paper also. If you want, it can get delivered at home so that you can read them also. That's one of the things which I want to give as a message to you, something which we can work on. So, Dhanyavad. And if you have any questions, I will take it.
That's it.
Question
இது ஒன்றும் காணும். எனக்கு இப்போதான் உங்களோட இது வருது பேப்பர்.
முடியல.
Hare Krishna, do we have any questions? Okay. I think we don't have questions, ma'am. So even I have been waiting. So that was a wonderful.
I think we have to wait for a couple of more
minutes. We will wait, ma'am. We'll wait for a minute.
Yep. Because now only it get to over there. Yeah, I think there are no questions. I think everybody seems to be very happy listening to me.
Yes, ma'am. We'd love to listen to your sessions, as I keep telling you. And it was a definite eye opener. I think all of them agree. Very
Yeah.
informative session, ma'am. Many people have posted also telling that.
Sorry, 1 minute. I have spoken to 2, 3 Sanskrit teachers. If
Okay.
they are interested, we will within a couple of days. I can get you the
I'm
numbers, and we
waiting.
can have a platform for learning Sanskrit.
Yeah, ma'am. So as I told you regarding that, so we'll talk about that. I'll get back to you. So thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'm sure the audience has taken a lot of information from your sessions, and as you see in the messages, the reference what you've given, I think they really liked them, and all the references which you gave. So of course, Sanskrit is a very beautiful language with positive vibrations and very advanced, as you say, precise, easy. There were so many points, and there were so many good references of. We didn't know about Kumbhakarna. We never knew about that person in Kashmir. Ma'am, could you please repeat that name?
Abhinav Gupta.
Abhinav Gupta. Yeah, thank you very much. So all these things are really very interesting, which makes the session, we could just go on listening to it. So, and it is definitely very true that we are not valuing this language. And sessions like this, I believe, brings in conviction, and we have to believe as an individual that, as you showed that perfect slide, that this is the only option. Sanskrit is the only option. It's not the best option, it's the only option. And we, being Indians especially, I think we should make the first step towards learning this language. And I think your sessions is that step for us. And we are just at the tip of the iceberg. And we would love to have more sessions on Sanskrit also. But definitely we will take it up as a course, ma'am. I think many of our people in NEEV would definitely like to take it up. I will get back to you regarding that, and we can talk to it.
Very good.
So thank you, dear parents, whoever has joined us today for the wonderful session. Please keep continuing to join us, and we'll meet in the next.
There are some responses I could see.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
Sadly, we are not allowed to revive Sanskrit. That is thought is to be associated with only Hindu religion. Somebody has said. Let us spread that message. It's not only Sanskrit thing. Let us spread that message. We'll say that, no, please come on. It is not only that. So that's what it is. And reference of color of Krishna, ma'am, that's what somebody has said. But this one was, I really liked it. Sanskrit is not allowed to, no. Sanskrit, we will make a mission from our own thing, make it as a thing which Sanskrit is not connected to any religion, but
exactly
related to the country.
Correct.
We will make that as a mission.
Yeah. There's a wrong conception that it is connected to Hindu religion, and because it's only mantras and shlokas and things like that.
Correct.
I think we should start reiterating that it's not related to any religion.
And mantras and slokas has got a lot of hidden meaning on science, not anything else actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. So dear parents, please fill in the feedback form. It will only help us to take forward these sessions and improve our sessions more. I definitely share your feedback with ma'am every time, so she would also love to see your feedback in the forms. So kindly fill in the forms, and thank you very much for your precious time and joining us today. We will join again on December 7th on Chanakya on social responsibility, if I'm right. That is the next topic.
It's December 5th, no? It is Saturday.
5th, is it, ma'am? Okay, I'll just check.
5th and 12th. 5th and 12th.
5th and 12th. Okay. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you again for your time and support. And we just love your sessions. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Neev, for this. This is, again, as I said, this is one of the most passionate and very close to my heart. And very nice. I could express this to a little audience at least. We'll make a small beginning somewhere. Thank you very much.
Very kind of you, ma'am. In spite of your busy schedule, you spend this time with us and you give these sessions. Very, very kind of you. Thank you, ma'am. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.